Hello and welcome to my channel. The options for today's pick a card reading are number 15, Masquerade, number 20, Downcast Pride, number 1, Triumph of Lies, and number 25, Fated to Suffer. I'm going to start now with option 1. Hello, option 1. You chose number 15, Masquerade. And the statement that goes with this card is, what I can't have forever, I will have for a minute. What I can't have for a minute, I will hold to me for a second. And this card is basically about the F-boys and F-girls out there. Either you are one, or you tend to be attracted to those kind of people. And the kind of superficial games and facades that go along with that mindset. I hate to put it that way, but that's what I'm getting, especially with this Devil card being right beside it. And the Ace of Wands is also a card of desire. And in this particular one, there is a spider and a spider web, like a spider trying to trap its prey. In addition to those are the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Swords. And this gives me the feeling that whether you are an F-boy or F-girl, or you are attracted to the people who like to be players, it's because you think that you're better off single, that love isn't for you, and that you need to be rational and cautious and detached. Okay, well, the rest of the cards we have here are the Seven of Cups, the Judgment, the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the King of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. These cards are telling me that you're looking at all of the various options with clarity. And you're not happy with what you're seeing. There's anxiety, sense of feeling burdened. And the idea of love is linked with the idea of conflict. There is a desire for relationships that are more stable, more peaceful, where there's emotional maturity. But you have no idea how to get there from here. and you want to end that cycle. You've come to believe somewhere along the way that love equals conflict and pain. And that is what you need to release, is the false belief that love has to be conflict and pain. Until you let go of the belief that love has to be a fight and a game, you will continue to repeat cycles and continue to have shitty relationships, because that's what you believe you deserve. That's what you believe love is. And you need to let that go and realize that it can be different. And not just at the mental level. You have to really believe it in your heart. And in your change your subconscious thinking. Because your subconscious will continue to seek out the negative situations that it's used to until you break the pattern and break the limiting belief. Okay, I think that's all for option 1. I'm going to move on to option 2. Hello, option 2. You chose number 20, Downcast Pride. The statement that goes with this card is, bending to adapt becomes an excuse for the habit of bending. And the other cards here with it are the Six of Wands, the Fool, and the Moon. And in these cards here, with the Six of Wands, I see a desire for victory. But I'm also seeing a rabbit trying to befriend a wolf and a coyote digging through the trash. Coyotes are very adaptable animals and will do whatever they have to do to survive. And it's looking to me like you're selling yourself out to gain some kind of victory or success, and losing your dignity and pride in the process. This looks like to me that you're bending your morals and bending yourself in whatever way you need to in order to achieve something, which obviously would be a very hollow victory. But for some reason you feel like that's what you have to do in order to succeed. Alright, the rest of the cards are Temperance, the Six of Coins, the Knight of Cups, Ace of Wands, the Empress, and the Fool again. The Temperance card is about alchemizing energies, and it's also about balance. The Six of Coins is about giving and either reciprocity or a lack of reciprocity. And then we've got the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands, which is usually about love, but I'm not saying this is just about love in this case. This would be wanting to be loved, I think, and doing whatever you have to do in order to get that, whether it's at work, from love, from family, friend group. It's as though you're trying to achieve a certain status where you will finally be given to with this Empress card. And with this Fool card, it looks like you also want to toot your own horn. You want to be in a position where you are applauded and people give back to you. After a long time of you contorting yourself into a pretzel, trying to please everyone and trying to get into a better position through whatever means necessary. Well, this isn't the best energy in the world to try and achieve that end. In order to actually receive the treatment that comes with being an Empress, you have to actually embody that energy, which is an energy of confidence, of believing that you deserve to be treated well, standing in your power instead of bending to whatever is around you and whoever is around you. To behaving with dignity and class. And a place of integrity and inner strength. So it seems to me you need to release this energy of sacrificing yourself worth and sacrificing your dignity in order to achieve things. You need to come back to yourself, cultivate self-worth and self-love and self-respect. So that you can actually have the kind of life that you desire. All right, I think that's all for option 2. I'm going to move on now to option 3. Hello, option 3. You chose the card Triumph of Lies. The statement that goes with this card is, if something hurts me, I change myself so it can stop. And this is a card that's about taking on roles and wearing masks in order to keep the peace and maintain relationships that probably aren't healthy for you. It's about changing yourself to fit the situation rather than being authentic. The other cards that are here with it are Strength, the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. And this Strength card is usually depicted as a woman holding the mouth of a lion. And it signifies love and spiritual strength, being able to tame one's baser instincts or to quell conflicts through love and patience instead of through violence. But that's not what I'm getting with this particular card. With this mouse and this snake with the heart in the middle. What I'm getting from this is that someone who is in a weaker position in some way is using your emotions to control or manipulate you into acting in ways that are contrary to what is authentic to you. They're trying to make you into what they want you to be, and you're letting them. Or you have done this in the past. You have allowed yourself to basically be whipped. Because that's the message I'm getting, is that you are whipped, or that is what has happened in the past in other relationships. And the thing is, a healthy relationship will require you to be considerate, but not obedient. And because you've had to deal with relationships or are currently in a relationship where you're expected to be obedient and be someone that you're not, and be agreeable to things that are contrary to what it feels good for you, you're sitting there thinking maybe you'd be better off single. Which is a totally valid thought if you're afraid of continuing or repeating that kind of pattern. Now, the Knight of Cups card here is telling me that you're considering offering your love to someone who is feminine and not necessarily female. I'm not talking about genders, I'm talking about energy. And this person is charismatic, strong, feisty, but also very sweet and has a lot of emotional depth. And this person's a very strong person, which may be making you nervous because you don't want someone controlling your life anymore going forward. You want to be in control of your life with an equal partner in a healthy relationship. Okay, the remaining cards are the Four of Cups. Let's see if I can. Hopefully that's a little better. Okay, the Four of Cups. The Two of Coins. Death. The Fool. The Empress. The Ace of Wands. The Seven of Cups. And the Eight of Cups. And these cards indicate to me that you've been dissatisfied with what you currently have and have been trying to find some way to find balance. And transform your patterns in your love relationships into a more positive form. And there's one person in particular that you feel very passionate about, that you would like to pursue. And there's a part of you that's just wants to take the leap and never mind the consequences, because you're so fired up about this person. And you see that you have all these other options, and you're willing to walk away from all of them to have this person. But because you feel so much for this person, and because they're so strong and so abundant, so charismatic, so just awesome in your book, that you don't know what to do with that, it's kind of scary, because you don't want that person to have a hold over you like this other person or other people have in the past, or maybe even in the present. It's making you nervous and wanting to walk away completely from all your options, including the one that you want the most. So, what you need to release are situations and relationships that don't allow you to be yourself and that diminish your self-respect. You need to stand up for yourself, regardless of who it is that you're dealing with. You need to make sure that your needs are accounted for just as much as theirs. There needs to be equality and mutual respect. Relationships are about cooperation, not about someone being obedient to someone else, or giving your whole life over to the control of someone else, regardless of how you feel about them. Okay, I think that's all I'm getting for option 3. I'm going to move on now to option 4. Hello, option 4. You chose the card Fated to Suffer. The statement that goes with this card is feeling confined into a script, forced by other, and never really fought, heading toward a destination of pain. And this card is about not being able to see the positive options available to you. This card shows an older woman offering an apple to a child, and it's purposely done to remind us of the story of Snow White, where she was offered a poisoned apple by an evil witch. But the author of the cards asks the question, what else could this be, though? This could be an older lady just offering an apple to her granddaughter. A nice, normal, healthy apple. Might not be anything toxic about the situation, but because of what we've been through and the programming and stories that we have been told, our assumption is to assume that this is a negative situation. And that is the perspective that you need to release. The assumption that things are going to go wrong, that you are fated to suffer, that you are going to be victimized, that you have no power to change things for yourself, things of that nature. And with the Queen of Cups here, I would bet that you're an emotional and intuitive person. And with the Sun card and the mountain lion that looks pretty ticked off instead of happy about the sunshine, I'm guessing that people were not happy when you shone your light. And with the Devil card here, I'd say that people done a lot of things to you to make you have an attitude where you assume things are going to be negative. There's probably been a lot of bad experiences in your life. And this was probably especially true in your childhood, which probably caused you to feel a certain sense of helplessness. But if you're watching this reading, I hope you're an adult and you have an internet connection, which means you have access to resources that you can use to help yourself, to help you change your mindset, and to help you better your situation. With the Ace of Wands, it's time to start pursuing things that you feel passionate about and the things that you are inspired to do, and to not allow the negative past experiences to keep you from seeing the good things that are possible for you. Okay, the rest of the cards are the Six of Pentacles, Temperance, the King of Wands, the Magician, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Coins. The Six of Coins depicts a man giving to beggars. So that makes me think that in the past you have had to deal with either a lot of people expecting you to give to them, or with being someone putting you in the position to have to beg in order to get by. But Temperance, the King of Wands, and the Magician make me think that at this time in your life, things are more balanced. That you have a lot more personal power than you used to have. And that you may find that you actually have all the tools you need to create a much better future. And with the Hierophant and the Ace of Coins, it makes me think of setting things right and making things how they should be, what seems just and fair, and bringing that into the world in some way. For a lot of people, their pain becomes their passion, meaning that the experiences that they have gone through inspire them to help other people who have dealt with the same sort of thing, and to make it so that either less people go through it or it doesn't happen anymore. I believe what this reading is saying is that you need to release the victim mindset and see what is possible for you. Let go of the illusions of helplessness and the illusions that people have tried to sell you in order to keep you small and stuck. And once you've done that, if you so choose, you can use that experience of turning things around for yourself to help other people too, and to inspire them also. Okay, I think that's all for option 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye for now.